Taylor, we found proof of alien life this week.
Well, I saw the video.
Planet that's like quadruple our diameter.
It's like
it was that
2.5
big
times
planet,
our size and like 8.5 times our mass.
But we don't know yet based on that video you shared me.
Well, we know the two things I just said, the size and the mass.
Oh yeah, I mean the life thing.
Can you circle back to that? Did you say we discovered life?
Yes.
We discovered indicators of some chemical compound that we only know can exist because of like algae and shit like that. And the guy in the video is like, if this isn't an error in our technology gathering a reading, then this has to be created by life, or there's a chemical process that's like not something we can do here on Earth that we don't understand yet. Like maybe it's a life form that isn't carbon based. We don't know.
So the atmosphere of this planet is full of dimethyl sulfide gas. That's a gas that's given off by phytoplankton on our planet. It's present in their atmosphere 8 times more concentrated than it is in our atmosphere. And it's a gas that diminishes over time, so you lose it. But it's being replenished at a rate to supply that enormous amount of dimethyl sulfide in their atmosphere. They know that by X-ray spectroscopy, which is where when the planet is passing between its star and us, the light shines through the atmosphere of the planet. Our telescope picks it up, and the gases in the atmosphere absorb the light in certain bands of the spectrum. And so when we analyze the data and we see the dark lines in the spectrum that are being absorbed out by that gas, we can determine what those gases are. That's an old tech. Helium was predicted using this technology before it was discovered on this planet, obviously. In like 1868, they predicted that they found helium through spectroscopy. They looked at the sun, basically. They took the light from our sun, ran it through a prism, and then analyzed the rainbow that came out. And there was a dark line there where helium would be. And they're like, hey, this will be helium. This is the next element. And I think it was 25 years later before we actually found helium. And we're like, look, we got some helium, and proved that it was true. So the technology is kind of foolproof. Like, we know exactly where every element is on the gradient of light. The only question is, and what they said, it was like either it's life or there's chemistry happening that we don't understand, because we don't know of any way that this gas can be created without life, and certainly not in this abundance. And again, it must be an ongoing process to keep that abundance of the gas in the atmosphere. Like, it's not like something happened and now it's staying there and it's being replenished over time. Again, at a rate, it's 8 times more abundant than in our atmosphere. But again, they think it would be an ocean world. It's really big. It's 8 Earth masses, 8.5 Earth masses. So it's probably just a giant ocean world full of plankton.
That smells bad.
They said it would smell like cabbage.
So now they know smells.
Dimethyl sulfide smells like rotten eggs, I think. And
it's a food additive. It's savory.
Huh. I don't know. My Yelp review is not going to be positive when I go there.
Where are you getting your information? Yeah, dimethyl sulfide is like a food additive. It's a savory flavor. They even said in the video, they're like, it would smell like cabbages on this planet, or cooking cabbages.
This just reaffirms the hypothesis. I call it a hypothesis of mine and Woody's. I think we're on the same page with this one, that all the planets, every time they come out with a planet that seems awesome, it's like, dude, there's a planet that like we could live on, and it's got maybe life on it, and it's pretty sick, and it's probably got oceans. It's
they've never said that.
It's 200 million light years away. Oh, but like all the planets that we could get to someday, total horse shit, awful, hellscapes.
Well, first of all, we can't get to any planets. Like in any time, like where we're going to be alive, or where our like grandchildren are alive, we're not getting to any planets outside of our solar system. That ain't never happened.
No.
I told you that little stat earlier about Voyager. So this planet's 120 light years away. Voyager's been traveling for 50 years at 40,000 miles per hour. In light years, how far would you guess it has traveled, Woody? 50 years 40,000 miles an hour.
Miles an hour.
It may be faster than 40, because we did some like we looped it around
I
some
don't
planets.
know the speed of light. I always see it as
186,000 miles per second.
I was going to say
like,
that.
okay, well, this is incalculable. So I'll just guess.
Gut feeling.
0.15 light years.
1 light day. 1/365th of a light year. So do that. So it needs 50 times 365 times 120. That's when Voyager would get there if it was pointed in the right direction.
So we're like 0.27.
Actually, I want to know.
No.
Or 0.027.
Can you say it again? 50 times what?
No.
Like I said earlier, nothing ever happens. Okay.
Nothing ever happens. I don't know.
The age
50 times 365
ended
times
before I was
120.
born.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, all the light we're getting from that planet, that thing blew up a trillion years ago or something.
Almost
absurd.
2.2 million. 2.2 million. What?
Ah, fuck.
So it didn't
Never
blow
mind.
up. Like we would have seen.
Remove that, Zach.
Yep. Just cut that.
Remove that.
What did you get, Woody? I'm sorry. What's your math?
2.2 million, just sort of it.
Yeah, 2.2 million years Voyager will get there at its current rate of speed if it was pointed in the right direction, and of course it's not.
Yeah, it's probably pointed towards some even worse corner of space.
I don't know where they aimed it. Honestly, that'd be a good question. That'd be a good bit of trivia. No, but I like that. I hope that we're able to learn more about that, and I wish that Trump hadn't gutted fucking NASA. So because I want those telescopes. I like those.
I thought we just got a big, beautiful new telescope just a couple years ago.
Dude, that telescope is like 2000 tech. That's like 25 old. Look, the James Webb Space Telescope is what's found this. It's the most impressive telescope that's ever been built. It's in a Lagrange point way off from Earth, shielded by any interference. It's incredible, but it's old. It's old tech. Like we can do better and bigger. And I wish that was a priority.
Whatever
would be
happened
cool.
to Space Force? Wasn't that supposed to be a thing? Like his first
up and
one?
running,
Turns out
baby.
there's not any wars in space. So it really
It sounds sick though.
Yeah. That would be
Space Force-
sick. You could have cool outfits.
I
It's in
think
Greenland, I think.
there's Space Force bases in Greenland. Yeah. So they're obviously handling, Space Force looks into missile defense and satellite warfare. That's what is never discussed. That's what it's about. You can imagine, you ever see those maps of the thousands and thousands of satellites that are going around? I just know that our CIA and probably the Chinese too have gone up there and like fucked with somebody else's satellite. Because why wouldn't you? We've got military satellites up there just floating hundreds of miles up. Like if you could go up there and just send your capture device over to like connect to it and put in some code or like piggyback, like do a thing, sabotage it even. Maybe you just put a little explosive on it. So when like Go Day comes, you hit a button and all the U.S. satellites explode or all the Chinese ones do. I think that's what Space Force is up to, and to a lesser extent, the CIA.
But instead, they're fucking sending Katy Perry to space.
I think the CIA might have a space plane.
See, I thought it was gonna be something cool, like you'd have like in the movies, like the space laser that's in orbit, and then they can like target whatever they want and like fire like a crazy beam of like light down that just nukes the entire
That doesn't
area.
work. It doesn't work because the atmosphere diffuses it, but the kinetic rods is always a proposed thing. But we've got plenty of weapons that are way more powerful than a kinetic rod, so it's kind of silly. You would need.
You're probably right, but I think we should figure it out for the purpose of it being cool.
Yeah,
well, Israel is what do they call it? Their laser system goes online this year.
They have the chosen laser. It's happening.
The chosen laser.
Yeah, I think it's called the Iron Laser or something.
That's sick.
It's
That's
going
sick.
online
They're
this
going
year.
back to that well, huh?
I Googled it,
yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah, they need better branding. They got to get rid of the iron thing.
The
They gotta have
iron
something
something.
better.
I was curious about like, space
The
battles.
steel sphere.
3 countries, US, China, and Russia, have proven that they can mess with satellites. But the internet says all 3 have only messed with their own satellites so far.
Yeah, we shot one down with I think an F-18. They flew a fucking.
Wait,
pilot.
really?
Yeah. I'm almost positive. I think
Did it go into space?
The missile did. He just flew his plane up.
Did it
real
like
high
fly
and
like
stuff.
right at the tip of the atmosphere, like
It flew
Iron
as high up
Man?
as he
Yeah.
could.
Like fly back down.
I remember, I think Kyle, most of my space knowledge comes from Kyle telling me things, but I always had in my head that satellites were way higher than they actually are because of like the graphics you see of it online. They're not nearly as high as you think in the scheme of things. Like they're at the low the low end of space, and so you could fuck that up with the plane.
I'm like
with
retarded.
a
I never even
rocket.
think about this. How many miles up is the atmosphere? How long does it take to get to space?
It's just,
We had a test on that. There's a stratosphere. There's a troposphere. There are a number of other spheres. I won't
How long
get
would
into.
it take if I was in like an F-18 pointed straight up and there was no environmental
I
problems?
don't know
could
the
just
answer to
fly
that.
straight.
I do know Katy Perry's flight
It'll
was
stall.
11 minutes long.
Yeah, but they went to like the lowest parts of space.
So then you get to how do we define space? But
I'll look up
I
how long
thought
does
it
it
was
take
an
to get to
interesting-
space is
space?
62
Yeah.
miles. Look, so there's no like hard stop, right? It's not an eggshell of an
Yeah.
atmosphere. It slowly fades out to nothingness. But the agreed upon seems to be around 62 miles, according to Zach. So, but you think about like missiles and how far we shoot them away from things. 62 miles is no stretch at all. So
what's
if you fly
the
your
lowest
plane up,
you can orbit? That's what I wonder. To me, that's how
Oh.
Woody defines space. It's
you mean a
it needs to be-
non-decaying orbit?
Yes.
You'd have to. I think that depends on your speed and your mass. So
Right.
it's going to vary.
How high are the highest clouds? In my mind, wherever the highest cloud stops, then you're in space.
I'm going to say,
Oh well,
Like-
then that's a very low definition.
yeah,
of
that's like
space.
30 or 40,000 feet, right?
I was
Well,
gonna
in,
say
in my mind, as
50,000,
soon as you're
but-
past that, you're in space because it must just be there's nothing there. There's just like blackness. I mean, there's oxygen, but it's not really the same, you know. There's got to be some point, like in the movie when they get to the black part. You know what I mean? There's the white
That's
part and the black
yeah,
part.
The scary part where like you could get sucked out into oblivion. According to this, Woody, which is a snippet preview of a Wikipedia article, the lowest altitude at which an object in a circular orbit can complete at least one full revolution without propulsion is 93 miles. So
See, that's one complete. We were
50% higher than the, I guess, accepted definition of the lowest point of space. If you said it's like 60 miles.
Yeah, I don't know what it takes to get into a non-decaying orbit. I don't know if there is such a thing because I mean the moon's flying away from us. Like everything's changing. The space station stays where it is because of thrusters. I don't know.
I thought the space station was moving.
It's gonna be Of course it is.
I thought you just said it stayed in place with thrusters.
In its
I think
orbit.
he meant its altitude.
Okay.
Yeah. It's coming down though. I think they've got a lot of issues. I think they're gonna, and it's I don't know how much it costs. It's like $10,000 a kilo or $10,000 a pound to get shit up into space, and they got that whole space station up there, and they're gonna let it decay and fall back into Earth eventually. I guarantee it. They're gonna
We
waste
need to get a
all that
better one up
fucking
there
money.
first.
Well, they just need to save that one. You've already got that material up there. Like getting it up
Like
there is a
repurpose
huge
it.
expense. Yeah,
Make
do
an
something.
even
It's
better.
a tough
Yeah.
decision, like when to start fresh again. Like at some point, what's there will have no value, right? At some point, you
Mhm.
trash the car and buy a new one.
Even if you recycle the raw metal and material, it's worth more. It's $10,000 a pound. That's what it's worth.
Right?
So you're
And
saying
the-
it'd be better to just get stuff up there and fix it up if they can.
Fix
rather
it
than-
up there and stabilize
new
its
thing
orbit,
there.
like whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to build a new thing that can slowly process the old thing into new parts of itself. Like build a fucking reverse 3D printer to eat that thing and turn it into a new fucking space station.
I'm really disappointed that I'm not going to be alive for like fucking Event Horizon shit. Just,
Right?
like going into the deep recesses.
We need
you know?
cryotech to happen. That's the future. That fucking psycho millionaire who's been drinking his son's blood or whatever. and
Brian
living in that
Johnson.
oxygen
Yeah.
tank. Dude, he looks worse for it. That's horseshit. But if we can ever figure out how to freeze ourselves like in the fucking movies, that's the game, dude.
But the only people who are going to get to do that are going to be like the billionaire pedophiles or something, or like
It'll
Elon
have to be.
Musk.
No,
Yep.
They're just going to
Then
be
they'll
pedophiles
just
and
start-
freeze
yeah.
themselves and freeze children, and then wake
Unless
up.
Then we'll
You
be discovering
volunteer.
space stations where they're molesting kids instead
Yeah,
of islands.
literally. That's what I was thinking the other day. Like Elon Musk is like, we're going to go to Mars. Like all the pedophiles are going to go there and fuck kids, and there's going to be no jurisdiction. And the pedophiles,
Yeah, there's gonna
like,
be
it's
Roman
legal. It's
Polanski
Mars,
up there.
motherfucker.
Look,
Yeah.
I got no say about
There's no
what
age
they're
of
doing
consent on Mars.
Martians have their own culture, and I don't judge it. Okay, all cultures are.
I do. Earth rules. Mars
Now
Now
rules.
that is racist. Planetist.
Mars sucks.
That's gonna be. You think it'll be the new
Dude,
thing in like
Kyle's
5,000
like-
years? It'd be like that's fucking planetist.